So it's episode 4, and episode 4 is going to deal with the final trek back up to Amsterdam and back home to Berwick upon Tweed. So I'll be landing in Ancona in a few hours time, and it's a quick blast up to the motorway over to Riquewihr, which is where I stayed previously, but from there going a different route. So we're going up to Lugano and then over to the Alsace for a couple of days, for a couple of nights. And to be honest with you, if the weather's not so good, I won't take too much persuasion to not do any riding on that day, and I'll just indulge myself with cheese, wine and bread. And then from the Alsace, from Riquewihr where I'm staying, it's then up to Belgium, and hopefully there's going to be a few treats on the way as well, so looking forward to sharing those. So the weather at the moment is looking a little variable, but I think it'll be okay, but it's certainly not going to be as cold as it was last year crossing the Alps. So yes, that's episode 4. Hope you enjoy it. I've no idea what's going to come, but I'm sure it's going to be okay. And just to say, on this final video, so far there has been no crisis, no drama, and everything has gone like clockwork and been totally and completely brilliant. Well, here we are back in Italy, in Ancona, waiting to do the passport check and get out of this place. Ferry's about an hour late. I've got about 120 miles to do. But you know what? No problem. Back in Italy. Well, good morning. So it's day 12, and once again I'm in Riquewihr in Italy, and it's absolutely lovely and gorgeous. So yesterday the ferry was late by 2 hours, so I spent the last part of the journey here in the darkness, which was all right actually. It wasn't scary or anything. I mean, it was just that the last hour was, like I say, pitch black, but the headlights on the ADV350 are absolutely brilliant. Anyway, so the plan today is to head up to Lugano, or just outside Lugano in Switzerland on the lake. And the thing is, I can never work out, the best way of getting up and past Milan, heading north. So I think it's going to have to be the Autostrada. And to be honest with you, I do think, that stereotype of like scary Italian driving is a bit overstated. I think it's been fine actually. Hardly any use of the horn, and like no gesticulating, which is a shame. But when you get to Milan, it does get a little bit different. And the only thing that I have noticed is that when you are on, like a dual carriageway or something, and somebody overtakes you, they do cut in very, very sharply. I wouldn't say it's a cutting you up manoeuvre, but they just sort of cut in, and you kind of go ooh, every few times. But I think it's just normal behaviour. It's probably taught in school, isn't it, to do that? Anyway, so yeah, that's the plan for today. So I'm heading north now. The weather is still great here, still really nice and warm, but I think north of Lugano it's going to be, put the lining back in my jacket and put my leathers back in. And anyway, as it's day 12, I'm going to treat myself to a new pair of earplugs. Now, I don't know about you in earplugs, but when I've got them in, everything's fine. But when I take my helmet off, one always falls out, and it always rolls underneath the bike. How does that happen? How does it know how to do that? Anyway, right, so I'm going to get some breakfast now, a lovely Italian breakfast. No ham, of course, no dried meats or any of that nonsense. And then I'll get going. But yeah, everything is going wonderfully well, as always, and I will see you later when I'm in Switzerland and in Lugano. Oh, and I might get a little bit of footage of the Milan Autostrada so you can see what it's like. Right, buongiorno, ciao, bellissimo. And then, a few minutes later, you find me in the glamorous location of a service station just outside Milan on the Autostrada. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, at great personal risk and expense, I'm going to answer 2 important questions that I often get. First one is, what's the ADV350 like on the motorway? Can it hold its own? Do you get bullied? What's it like? And then the other one is, what are Italian drivers really like? So I thought the best thing to do was to come to Italy and let's try and answer those 2 questions on the Autostrada up to Milan, which is just up the road. Because let's face it, Milan must be the epicenter of complete madness in Italy. So I've had several espressos delivered intravenously, so I'm feeling pretty fueled up. I've got a handful of almonds for some vegetarian protein, so I'm going to have a handful of those now, and then I'll be ready to go. But before we do that, these are the types of toys that are on sale at your typical Italian service station. I mean, what else would you expect? Anyway, right, I'm going to gird my loins and get going. Let's see what happens. Right, okay, we'll get going, and as per tradition we absolutely cane it up the slip road and onto the motorway proper. And although this footage is speeded up by 4 times, the scooter gets up to a genuine 70 miles an hour really easy. Probably takes you about 11 seconds maybe. So this is the GPS speed, and about 70, 72, what you'll see on the speedo is probably around 75, 76, and it feels completely relaxed at that speed with another 5 miles an hour easily on hand. And as we can see, the Italian traffic is really well behaved, and in a minute we're going to see something really, really nice and interesting. Oh look, a Motor Guzzi. And here's another Motor Guzzi, this time a V11 being ridden by a young Italian lady. How good is that? Yes, I fell in love. It's now 5:30 in the evening, so I survived Milan and the Autostrada. Had to do lots of filtering and stuff, but it was fine. So, yes, made it safely here. The ADV going absolutely brilliantly. So where am I? I'm at Bray, which is just above Lugano. So Lugano Lake, or Lake Lugano, is there in the distance behind me. The village of Bray is over there. Tiny little village, really, really nice. Couple of really good restaurants. So you can imagine what's going to happen soon. And yeah, it was a really good ride. Now it's got a bit cooler, so it's about 26 degrees. And you know, compared to Greece, which was about 32, I don't know, I must have got all nesh because I sort of feel all cold. Can you believe it? And although the weather is good, as you can see, there's a lot more clouds now we're in the mountains, and there is forecast to be a double rain and lightning thing going on tomorrow, but you know, hey ho, it's still going to be like 19 odd degrees, so it's not going to be freezing like it was last year. So yeah, had a really, really nice ride. This is an absolutely charming place with quite possibly the most torturous little road to get up here, but it was great. Because what I found is with the ADV on super sharp hairpins where they really come back on you, is that you can almost get to, you know, kind of the apex and you're going really slow, like 5 miles an hour, and I think that's where some folk do tip over, you know, like you see it on the hard knock pass. But what you can do on the ADV, as soon as you get to that point, you just whack the throttle open and you've got maximum torque, which sets the scooter up and then off you go. So yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. So yeah, had a really nice ride. Bray is absolutely lovely. So tomorrow is not too long a ride actually, so I'm going over to the Alsace to visit one of my favourite villages, Riquewihr, which I went to last year, so I'm going to stay 2 nights there. On that note, I'm going to get something to eat. I'm going to get a beer. First of all, I'm going to have a drink of this water. Oh, it's freezing cold. Brilliant. Oh. Lovely. Good morning again. Well, it's the morning of day 13 as I'm filming this. It's about 7:30 in the morning. I'm in the village of Bray, just above Lugano in Switzerland. And nice bells, as always. Always have nice bells, don't they? Sort of in foreign countries. They're really nice. Anyway, as always, I'm going to have a fabulous mountain breakfast. Tons of cheese and croissants and jam and cake. I tell you what, I've really got into cake for breakfast. It seems to be a thing. So I'm going to eat some of that said cake now, and I will see you wherever I end up, hopefully in the Alsace. And on the way down, I just stopped at an old-fashioned bike shop, the kind that you don't really get in the UK anymore. And you see that CM125? I nearly bought one of those. Yes, I came all the way from a scooter. Can you believe it?
Oh yeah.
So next time, I'll see you on a scooter.
Hello. In the far future.
Thank you very much and have a great journey. Ciao, goodbye. Oh, but look at the Stelvio though. What a beautiful bike. Oh. And with radar. Right, I have to show you this amazing Swiss toilet. So you have a retractable toilet lid, you know, should you need it. There's this huge pan here. I mean, look at that. And then, even better, it's all sort of, it's like a combination toilet washing basin. So check this out. So you want to flush the loo, press that button, Oh no, that's the wrong button. If you want to flush the loo, press that button. Oh, brilliant. So how good is that? So, soap, water, and then a hand dryer. This is just amazing. It's amazing. So, after that nonsense, I think it's time for another type of break. Well, I'm currently heading over to the Gotthard Pass, but I decided to take, as the weather wasn't too bad, I decided to take the old road, or the Tremola Road, I think it's called. As you can probably see, it's a bit cobbly, and although it's a bit misty and stuff, at least it's dry and it's not raining. Anyway, after that break, I decided it was time for an OVO break. Oh, OVO Maltine, absolutely the best chocolate in the world. I've never had an OVO break before. Let me just read the description for you. Crunchy cream inside. Oh, perfect. Palm oil free as well. Oh, OVO break, lovely. Oh. Oh. So you find me once again in the lovely town, or the small town of Riquewihr in the Alsace, and what a beautiful, beautiful place it is. So in terms of the ride here, quite uneventful. Now, there was promised or forecast some really horrible weather, but luckily it didn't transpire. So there was a bit of rain for about 20 minutes, but not too much. And there was a bit of fog, so I went over the old Gotthard Pass, as you saw earlier, and it was fabulous. A bit cold though, it was like 11 degrees. On the way I met a lovely couple with a Motor Guzzi Stelvio, as you saw, and I had a really wonderful experience in a fabulous Swiss toilet. But it's not what it sounds like, but it was really nice. But I hope you enjoyed that, the sound of flushing. Oh, it's brilliant. So on that note, I'm going to stuff myself stupid, have a good evening, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 14. Well, I'm expecting a cracking vintage from these guys, because of course I know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to wine. It's not just about necking it, you know. Morning, it's Sunday the 14th of September as I'm filming this, and as you can probably see, it's a little bit overcast, but I tell you what, it's just made the vineyards and the surrounding countryside just look ever so more verdant. So this is my second day in Riquewihr. That's Riquewihr down there, that lovely, charming, wonderful town that I'm staying at the moment, and some shops going by as I'm speaking. What a brilliant place. So yeah, it's a little bit overcast and it's been hosing it down overnight, but my plan is that when the weather brightens up, which it should do in a couple of hours, I'm going to head over to Haut-Koenigsbourg, which is a really fabulous castle and chateau and stuff, absolutely beautiful, and just do a few other places as well, but I'm not going to do too many miles. But yes, what a wonderful, wonderful place. And I think with the weather like this, it really brings out the greenness of the place. And I tell you what, it's like a cultivated version of the Garden of Eden. I mean, not only is the vineyards obviously as far as the eye can see, but you know, there's blackberry bushes there, you won't be able to see them, but behind the camera there's a big walnut trees absolutely everywhere. I thought walnuts grew on bushes. Anyway, so walnut trees over there, there's pear and apple trees everywhere, and yeah, it's amazing. You could live off the land here, you know, if you were a fruitarian, it'd be great. And in the gîte where I'm staying at, the lovely Celine, the owner, came to open it up for me yesterday and left me a bottle of a homemade, home-pressed apple juice, and it's delicious. So day 14, I must admit I am looking forward to going home, but I'm still enjoying every single minute of this journey. And tomorrow I head off to Dinant in Belgium. So, but that's for later. Right, I'm going to have a pain au chocolat, I think, café au lait, and you know what, I might have a cheeky almond croissant as well. Anyway, we'll see. Right, enjoy your morning, and I'll see you later. Hello again. Well, as you can probably tell, rain has stopped playing, so it's absolutely chucking it down. So I'm not going to go to the castle today, but I will try tomorrow, because I think the weather's a little bit better tomorrow, and I've got time before I head off to Belgium. But yeah, it's absolutely belting it down. But you know, on the bright side, the beer festival is like 30 seconds away, so you know what's going to happen. So yes, it was pretzels, frites and a rather fine glass of wine and some rather dubious music. What's not to like? Hello again. Well, it's the morning of September the 15th, Monday, and lovely morning, and as you can see I've got a rather big castle behind me. So this is Haut-Koenigsbourg, which is utterly fabulous. So just to recap, had a lovely time in Riquewihr that I left this morning, the village that I left this morning, and I'm kind of glad I didn't come out on the bike yesterday because the weather wasn't so good. I think I probably just needed a break, you know, so I made myself useful eating lots of cheese and frites and flammkuche, monster cheese and pretzels. Note the B, pretzels. That's how you say it properly. Anyway, so yeah, Haut-Koenigsbourg, what a place. Anyway, yeah, what a fabulous castle. And you know, my tip, you know, after much research and analysis, is, you know, my tip, if you want to build a castle, or you know, where you're wondering where to build a castle, build it on a dirty big hill surrounded by vineyards and fruit and villages, you know, full of chattels and young maidens and stuff, and make it look like this and you'll be sorted. I mean, what a place. It is absolutely incredible, and as you can see from some of the shots, it is really quite a destination. Absolutely love it. So today the plan is to head up north to Dinant in Belgium, which is another fabulous place, and then tomorrow it's getting the ferry home, so I'll be back home in Berwick-upon-Tweed hopefully before midday on Wednesday. But what a trip, what a place, what a country, what a castle, what great food, what great people that I've met, and it's not over yet. I've got another 2 days. Anyway, hope you enjoy the shots of the castle, and I will see you later, probably in Belgium. Well, being greedy today, second breakfast of the day, dirty big pain au chocolat, brilliant. When you come to Koenigsbourg, from a parking perspective, you can park your bike as close as possible to the castle, whereas the cars are all parked down this very long, steep, winding road, and everybody has to walk up, but you don't have to do that on a scooter. It's great. So after leaving Koenigsbourg, I had a really nice ride on some twisty, slightly wet roads, buzzing BMWs, and of course, overtaking them. Well, it had to happen. So I've had to do the old stop by the roadside and get the waterproofs on. But it stops in a minute. Always does that. And it's absolutely lashing it down here in the Vosges National Park. But it's alright though, well prepared. Ugh. God, very wet. Right, see you in a minute. So we're just coming into Dinant now, and up ahead is the Rocher Bayard, which is an incredible rock which the road goes through, and the myth is that a giant horse named Bayard leapt the chasm to escape enemies. So yeah, Dinant in Belgium on the River Meuse. I tell you what, it's absolutely lovely. I mean, obviously a lovely riverfront, an amazing citadel perched on an enormous chunk of rock, bizarre looking churches with onion domes and stuff, and obviously great Belgian food. So if you like your mussels, you know, come to Belgium. No, but the more time I spend in Belgium, and I had a really good time in Namur last year, I really enjoy it actually. It's kind of French, but also weirdly British, and it's got like a bit of attitude as well. It's a bit edgy, you know, it's not too chocolate boxy. It still feels, I guess, you know, like a city that's lived in, which I quite like. Right, I'm gonna go and find something to eat and stare at the citadel for a bit longer. That's Charles de Gaulle. Thought he was French, but anyway, I'm assuming he fought some amazing battle here. Came out the winner. I don't know what it is with the saxophones. I should have done my research, of course, but I didn't. But yeah, they're very nice. Lots of painted, gigantic saxophones. Maybe the inventor of the saxophone came from Dinant. Please write in if you know. I think this is the United Kingdom's entry into the giant painted saxophone competition. Yay! Nil point. I'll tell you what though, the German one is a bit cheeky. It's got Gary Lineker World Cup 1990 written on it, which I don't follow football, but I'm presuming something dreadful happened then involving Gary Lineker. And there's this here, something shaft always wins. Honestly, they've got those big stonking tractor-like bikes all over the place, and then they go and get all nationalistic on the saxophone of Dinant. It's not good enough, is it? Gary Lineker World Cup 1990. Oh, nil point, nil point. Look at the USA one, a bit closer. World War II National Museum, New Orleans. Very nicely done, actually. Voix de Liberté, 1944. And topped with, of course, the Stars and Stripes. Well, you read some of the text about the 14th of August 1914, and this is the rather beautiful memorial to those that died. I'll take some shots of the inside, but it's, you know, obviously it's a steel structure, and all the names of the people that were killed or murdered are inside, stamped out of the metal. And it's got a strange noise about it. It's got like a whistling noise about it. Really is very beautiful. So sorry, it was the 23rd of August 1914. So this is the memorial for all the people that were killed. Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful and quiet, just how it should be. You know, there's people with the same surnames, whole families wiped out. And there's signifiers on there which I think tell you the age of the person. And if I've got that correct, there's a lot of young people. Oh, well done to the Belgians. What a beautiful memorial. Yeah, very beautiful. Good morning, or rather, good afternoon. So it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and it's Tuesday the 16th of September, and I'm here at the Port of Amsterdam, Maarden, which I've been pronouncing incorrectly as Ijmuiden for like, the last 10-15 years, so it is a Maarden. So I'm here in Maarden just waiting to board the DFDS ferry over to Newcastle, and we land in Newcastle at 9:30 tomorrow morning. Anyway, so it's absolutely chucking it down outside and the weather's really horrible. So I've taken refuge in this really cool coffee roastery, which you can see behind me. Absolutely cracking cup of coffee. Oh, it's delicious, that. Tell you what, it's making me feel a bit hyper. So, yeah, just a recap of today, which is the last day on the continent. So, the continent sounds old fashioned, that. Last day in continental Europe. So I left Dinant this morning at about 8:30. Had an absolutely cracking breakfast. Had a really nice ride for about 40 miles, nice and twisty, through, is it the Ardennes, I think that region is. Really, really lovely. And then started to chuck it down. It was really windy and horrible and stuff. So I decided just to hit the dual carriageways and motorways and get here as soon as possible. Yeah, so it was an alright ride, but yeah, not particularly pleasant. It's like being back home on the A1. Okay, I'm just going to interrupt myself there and just give you an idea of what the boarding was like. So there was a 55-mile-an-hour crosswind as we were going up the ramp into the ferry, which was quite interesting, and there was also a rather peculiar smell of feet and fish. But the best thing was, upon getting into the ferry hold, the presumably Filipino deck guys They were all like, Honda ADV350, Honda is the best. Brilliant. And they ignored all the GSs and the KTMs, so that made my day. Anyway, so we're on board now, heading towards Newcastle, and we're being told that it's going to be a gale force 8, apparently, overnight. So, looking forward to that. Anyway, back to him. So finally then, I guess, the final thing to say is, yes, I really did come on that. And it was an absolute blast. I'll see you later.
Even heard about that?
I did!